解开别作解作开吧，阿在这边，下来色外的。
Good evening，大家晚上好，欢迎大家再次的回到我们课室。其实也很期望每周日是很期望回到这边，好像一个大家庭一样。So welcome back. I feel like it's coming back to a big family. So it's very looking forward to as well. I think Geshe is here already. Okay, I think Geshe is here, so we're looking for him.
Oh, yes. Dashidele. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah,
Ni
nice to meet
hao.
you. Geshe-la.
Dashidele.
Geshe, how are you,
Dashidele.
Geshe?
Good, good. Thank you.
We hope you had a
Nuneng bola
wonderful week.
mayo. Ah?
I hope you also had a great week
Oh,
this week.
yes, yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I think we all have to answer whether we have eaten or not. Geshe really asked this question. So those who eaten, we must raise hand.
Oh, it's okay, it's okay.
吃过饭吃饱的请举手，大家可以举手。
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, thank you and welcome back to the session. So as usual, refresh your refuge and positive motivation, altruistic motivation. On the basis of that, then we all come together, do some practice, recitation of some powerful mantras that you can dedicate to the world, to all sentient beings' well-being. You also specifically dedicate to those people in the family, friends that who need your prayer supports, and also kindly help to dedicate to those people that who send their name. You know, some people pass away, some people are sick, some people are having problems. There are a lot of names, so I will not read them. Kindly help to keep them in your prayers too. Yeah, so we do the practice together. Okay.
首先呢，欢迎大家再回到今天的教室。那么，像以往一样，我们今天也从这个大家一起的共修和祈祷开始，请大家调整我们的动机，发起一个最纯正的发心。那么，在这一周呢，也有很多名字递给我们。我们在这个教室里面，有很多亡者或者病者都会把一些名字递给美德师兄和格西呢，来做回向。那么这个礼拜也有很多名字，那格西说他就不一一的在这个群上面，但是呢，我们今天一起共修的时候呢，把这个功德回向给每一位需要回向的人。那么今天在这边念咒的时候，我们大家一起为自己、家人以及他们来念。
Sangye Jodang Zoye Jonala Janju Bardo Dani Jasunje Daji Zoye Besonamye Dola Benje Sangye Dubara Jo Sangye Jodang Zoye Jonala Janju Bardo Dani Jasunje Daji Zoye Besonamye Dola Benje Sangye Dubara Jo Sangye Jodang Zoye Jonala Janju Bardo Dani Jasunje Daji Zoye Besonamye Dola Benje Sangye Dubara Kange doze ne zone tawa dam je pambe je tambe je ne tenje pe kodam de la cha ze zemje dam je dewa dan deve ju dan dem ra ju je zemje dam je dunga dan dunga je ju dan daw ra ju je zemje dam je dunga me be dewa dan mi daw ra ju semje dam je ni re cha dan ni dan da we dan yo la ne bra ju ru je semje dam je dewa dan deve ju dan dem ra ju je semje dam je dunga dan dunga je ju dan daw ra ju Semje damje dunga mebe dewa da mi da wa ju je semje damje ni re cha da ni dan da we da nyo la ne bra ju je semje damje dewa da de we ju dan de bra ju je semje damje dunga da dunga je ju dan da wa ju je semje damje dunga mebe dewa da mi da wa ju je semje damje ni re cha da ni dan da we da nyo la ne bra ju je tab je du je sha je re ro je yin ye me do du ye bo jo ma se je lo mo da bo ze be Shaje jabo de la cha ze lo daya tha om muni muni ma muni ye so daya tha om muni muni ma muni ye so daya tha om muni muni ma muni ye so daya tha om muni muni ma muni ye so daya tha om muni muni ma muni ye so Daya ta om muni muni ma muni yeso ha daya ta om muni muni ma muni yeso daya ta om muni muni ma muni yeso ha Tayatha Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeso Tayatha Om Karsa Tayatha Om Gade Gade Para Samgade Buddhi Yeso Tayatha Om Gade Gade Para Samgade Buddhi Yeso Tayatha Om Gade Para Samgade Buddhi Yeso Tayatha Om Gade Para Samgade Buddhi Yeso Tayada Omo Gade Para Samgade Buddhi Yeso Tayata Omo Gade Para Samgade Buddhi Yeso Omo Ahum Benzaram Guru Pema Siddhi 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 Mime zeve terje jere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang tu pong male jumze sangwe da kanje jembe zuyen zonga ba lo san trape shamla sowan Mime zeve terje jere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang tu pong male jumze sangwe da kanje jembe zuyen zonga ba lo san trape shamla sowan Mime zeve terje jere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang tu pong male jumze sangwe da kanje jembe zuyen zonga ba lo san trape shamla sowan Mime zeve terje jere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang tu pong male jumze sangwe da kanje jembe zuyen zonga ba lo san trape shamla sowan Mime zeve terje jere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang tu pong male jumze sangwe da kanje jembe zuyen zonga ba lo san trape shamla sowan Mime zeve terje jere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang tu pong male jumze sangwe da kanje jembe zuyen zonga lo san trape shamla sowan Om mani peme hum, 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 Om mani peme hum. Om mani peme hum, 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 Om mani peme hum. Om mani peme hum, Om mani peme hum, Om mani peme hum, Om mani peme hum. Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so ha Omo dare dure so Omo dare dure so Tayatha Omo Beganze Maha Beganze Ranza Samungade Soha Tayatha Omo Beganze Maha Beganze Ranza Samungade So Tayatha Omo Beganze Maha Beganze Ranza Samungade So Tayada Omo Beganze Ma Beganze Randa Samunga de So Tayada Omo Beganze Ma Beganze Randa Samunga de So Tayada Omo Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Ranza Samunga de So Tayada Omo Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Ranza Samunga de So Omo mare zeman zoha, omo mare zemam 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 zoha. Dage jawa damje dage ba yela zambe de denye me zo jondo do ba la me jinje lo da ja chungwe je ze do do ju me jo yang sa so semde semele chungwe ji ba kun le nyu do chap do so jawa de ye nyu do da wo se che ma do kyo ne do wa chi ja ma le de za la go ba rai jo pa ma sim je tam je den da den jo je nge do tam je ta do to wa da chan ju sem ba ga na su ju ba de da kun je ma lam do jo Semje neba jinye ba nyodo nele tajuje dowe nene malu ba dadu juwa me prasho chambe ba we jitra jemba dang akundo zambo de yan de shinji deda kunje jeso dalo jin jawa deda tamje rabdu ngo de sun shebe jawa tamje de ngo wa gana chuto nga ba de daje jewe zawa de kun jang sambo juje rab ngo wa rai ji bedan zo wa mi ge be yi jen no ba sam shin semje ra wa ku ze be samba che jin du Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, so tonight, yeah, so the teaching, yes. Is there anybody who's reciting the foundation good quality? Please go ahead.
Yes, in Chinese. So the English first, please. I think you have to unmute yourself to recite. Enchantant. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
enchantant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can recite. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Rinpoche and brothers and sisters.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you. Foundation of all good qualities. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, it is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that ceaselessly, day and night, take its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the result of black and white karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativities and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Seeking samsaric pleasure is the door to all suffering. They are uncertain and cannot be relied upon. Recognizing this shortcoming, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teaching is to keeping the prati moksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this train in Supreme Bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop only bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vow with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly between my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the Supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to correct this vow and pledge like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of the Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teaching of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Guru who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long life. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my life, never separated from the perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and path. May I quickly attain the state of Vajrahara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
法贤师兄中文版。
首先顶礼尊敬的阁席，各位同学大家晚上好。功德本颂，诸功德本，恩德师，如理依止，是道基，善了之以多策力，恭敬清净，起加持。偶一得此，暇满身，知极难得，具大义。遍诸昼夜，恒无间，升起艰辛，愿加持。生命动摇如水泡，速即坏灭，当念死。死后如影随鱼行，黑白业果恒随逐。或定解已于罪具，虽诸小恶亦应除。勤修一切妙善具，常不放逸，起加持。受用无厌众苦门，不可保信三有乐。见过患已当希求，解脱妙乐愿加持。清净意乐所引发，正念正知不放逸。圣教根本别解脱，修为坚实起加持。如自沉没三有海，慈母众生悉如是。见以荷度众生诞，修菩提心愿加持。发心若不学三戒，当知定无正菩提。故应勤发大精进，学菩萨戒起加持。散持邪径令即灭，如理观察真实义。即指妙观双运道，速当升起愿加持。善修共道成法器，城中最胜金刚城。诸善丈夫圣道阶，愿速趋入起加持。22种成就本，卫护净律三昧耶。愿获真实决定解，如命守护起加持。次正通达续不兴，2次宗要善勤习，4次于前不放慢，如师教修愿加持。愿说如是妙道师，即正修办坚固住，内外一切诸障碍，速即熄灭起加持。愿一切生不舍离，善施受用正法乐，圆满道地诸功德，速证圣位金刚持。
谢谢。
感恩学习。
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so today I will we will do short discussion, brief discussion on one of very important teaching in relation to the middle capable beings, especially general teaching to all the yanas, but specifically one of the main practice and the teaching in relation to middle capable beings practice, which is on the 3 higher trainings.
好，弥陀佛。我们今天呢，有这个中士道的这个三真上学。那么三真上学呢，三学呢是一切的解脱的根基，我们可以总称为意乐资量。今天我们会简短的把三真上学的一些重点开始来讨论和演讲。那这是出离心以及整个解脱的重点。
So, if we refer to the verses from the Foundation of All Good Quality, then it comes under the verse saying that led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Patimoksha vow. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice.
那么在这个功德本颂里面呢，我们刚才有念到以下的这个功德本颂，讲到说这个清净意乐所引发，正念正知不放逸，圣教根本别解脱，修为坚持起加持。这边讲到这一句。
Then on the first line, it says, led by this pure thought. This refers to the earlier verse. The verse, seeking samsaric pleasure is the door to all sufferings, and they are uncertain and cannot be relied upon. Recognizing this shortcoming, 1 point, there are 2 points. The motivation that generated through the understanding of renunciation to the samsara and its causes, understanding the shortcoming of samsara and the shortcoming of its causes, the karma and delusion. In another word, having the wisdom of renunciation towards the first 2 noble truths that we have discussed before. Then the second, the motivation is the wisdom that aspire the liberation, the wisdom aspire liberation through engaging in the path, the correct path. As said here, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation, gaining full conviction in this, later the 2 truth, the truth of cessation and truth of the path, or led by these 2 motivation of renunciation and motivation of aspiration to liberation, then being very mindful, alert, and great caution in arising of delusion, in committing of karma. The way to do that is by applying correct antidote. What are the antidote? The 3 higher trainings are the antidotes.
那么在前面我们讲到说，由于了知这个轮回的由于了知苦地，也就是这个4个前面的这个苦和快苦，因为了知2苦，那么我们在内心深处升起了对处于轮回3地无常炽热之火中，就好像进入火宅，并会希望逃离火场一样，升起强烈的出离心。那么借在这个对 建立在对轮回这样的出离心之上呢，升起了这个解脱的要迈向解脱的这个大的智慧。那么借着这个智慧如理的依止解脱之道。那么解脱之道是什么呢？那就是三真上学这个解脱之道。那么以这样的去了悟二谛二谛。那么因此呢，升起对轮回的这个出离，以及对解脱的渴望和向往。那么正确的发心，这宗喀巴大师说，这样的正确的发心呢，是一切解脱的基础。
So the antidote to eradicate samsara and its causes is the dharma. What is the dharma? Dharma can refer to the wisdom of emptiness, which is the third higher training. But in order to actualize that dharma, first you need to actualize the preparatory practice of the dharma, which is the practice of concentration, practice of higher training of concentration, and practice of higher training of moral conduct.
我们这边的这个，我们能决策升起出离，迈向正确的解脱正道。那么这个解脱正道指的是什么呢？当然指的是法。那么这个法又究竟指的是究竟什么法呢？那就是以智慧直悟空性的这个法。那么这个法呢，也就是说在戒定慧三真上学，那我们讲是第三学，所谓慧学。真上学，但是这个要达到彼岸这个慧学呢，首先要建立在正确的基础，三真上学的基础，就是前面的二学，也就是戒学和定学。
So even though the three higher trainings are specifically, main practice, main dharma to the middle capable being, but then if we refer to the compiling of the Lamrim, the concentration, the later two higher training, compile in the category of the higher capable beings teaching in the later chapter.
所以我们可以说，三真上学呢，是属于这个中士道。但是在这个慧学呢，当然就已经迈入了上士道的这个修学。
So the reason for that, if you discuss the teaching based on the intention to travel through the Mayanic Dharma, Mayanic path, the main body practice is the higher capable beings path or the Mayanic path, Sutra and Tantra, then the shamatha that we discuss, it has to be discussed on the basis of leading that shamatha to the special insight. Then when we discuss about the wisdom has to discuss in relation to the special insight, not just ordinary wisdom of emptiness. Here, the wisdom of emptiness as a special insight, which is going to be an antidote that going to practice by the Mahayanic practitioner who will travel through the 10 bhumis. So because of that, the two chapters are very much, emphasized later.
那么我们现在所学习的是大乘的这个学处，大乘学处。那么大乘学处呢，主要是以这个上士道为主干，并且呢，它是结合了止观和止和观，也就是禅修的这个止观以及观察慧的最后的这个结合，而止和观它是最后对治一切轮回的最根本以及最究竟的法呢，是止和观的修行。那么借由 成熟圆满止和观的修行呢，到达了实地啊，可以实证这个实地，这个大乘的实地。因此呢，在大乘佛法的这个包括了所有的这个真上学中呢，止和观呢是止观的修学呢是极为这个合要和中心的。
So So if you categorize the very much the whole whole Lamrim will be categorized into these three parts of the teaching: the moral conduct, then the serenity, and the wisdom. Very much can be included within these three categories.
可以说，整个菩提道次第呢，都是可以把它包含在三真上学这个这个范围中。那么也就是戒真上学、定真上学以及慧真上学这三学。
Very much starting from the simple capable beings part, the teaching on karma, then all the way up to the Bodhisattva's main practice, such as practice of 6 parameters, especially the first 5 parameters, first 4 parameters. Then the Bodhisattva's precept, like aspiring, engaging Bodhisattva precepts, all this can be included within the moral precept, or from the 3 higher training can include within the first higher training.
所以说，那么在这个菩提道次第呢，这个包括了整个三真上学，也是以三真上学为这个主干呢。那么并且延伸到包括了这个6波罗蜜的修学，特别呢，在这个前面的5个波罗蜜之中的这个修学中呢，可以说是前面的这个所谓中士道以及上士道的这个核心。
Including the very initial, the basis of all the higher quality, the teaching on Guru devotion, then the resultant, the last teaching on the Tantra, everything can be included within the first higher training, the higher training of morality.
所以在这个整个6波罗蜜中，除了这个一指上师之外呢，那么前面呢都是在前面的这个包含在这个戒真上学前面的。
So how you will know that when we talk about the moral precept in general Buddhist understanding, overall general Buddhist understanding, the moral precepts comes in the 3 categories. The first one is the moral precept of patimoksha, individual liberation precepts or the individual liberation vows. Then the second one is Bodhisattva vows, and the third one is the tantric vows. So all these 3 vows or the precepts included within the first higher training.
那么在戒学中呢，包括了这个别解脱戒菩萨戒和这个金刚戒。这个戒的3戒，所谓戒学呢，共有6支，这个戒也分作3处。这个戒的3学呢，首先是包含在这个前面的这个三真上学的第一个真上学，也就是戒真上学。
So from these 3 moral precepts, the latter 2 will discuss, the Bodhisattva precept will discuss when we talk about the main body practice of the higher capable beings. Then the tantric precepts will discuss when we reach the tantric topic. So here today, specifically in relation to the essence practice or the root practice, like in the text it says, the root of the teaching is keeping patimoksha vow. The root of the middle capable beings practice or the teaching is to keep Patimoksha vows. So among 3 precepts, the Patimoksha vows. So that is the main focus of the practice in relation to middle capable beings path. So we will discuss on that.
我们在这个戒学呢，戒学中的这个这个菩萨戒和金刚戒呢，我们会在后面，会包含在后面，不跌到次第这个上师道的最后面的，我们会再次去会讲到。那么今天我们今天讲到呢是戒学的基础，也就是戒呢是坚固的根本，戒学的基础，也就是别解脱戒。别解脱戒是一切戒学的基础上面。
Like the root text says, bless me to accomplish this essential practice. So for the middle capable beings practice, keeping Patimoksha vow or the precept is the most essential practice.
在这边呢，在经文上讲说，戒是一切清净坚固的根本，是一切的道之根本，所以清净的戒体是一切成就的根本，是一切道之根本。所以我们这边讲的是一个最根本的一切成就、一切学习、一切菩提的根本是别解脱戒。
So how you define middle capable being? Are you in the category of middle capable being? Everyone say, no, I'm in the higher capable beings. I am the great capable beings category. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But in order to be qualified to be great capable being, you have to be qualified first. The middle capable beings practice and the small capable beings practice. Like before go to university, you have to finish the high school, you have to finish the preschool, isn't it? Exactly like that. So still need to know. Otherwise cannot pass. You can claim but cannot pass the exam.
那么这边请问什么人是这个中士道，什么人是上士道？何为如何复合成为中士道或者上士道的这个资格呢？可能大家会觉得说我是这个金刚乘最上士道的这个根基的我是非常高的。那么到底这个如何称为是上士道的一个根基呢？我们这边讨论一下。
Yeah. So the Patimoksha vow, sometimes when you hear, you scared, like, wow, it's like, it's kind of like a lot of restrictions coming in my way. So but when we talk about karma, 10 virtues, it's like baby practice. Sometimes we think like that. So now to make it a bit easier, the Patimoksha vow is just slightly more advanced, slightly kind of more elaborate or more, slightly more advanced or intense from the 10 virtues, from the general karmic observation. Then, extended version is the practice of the Patimoksha vow. On that, if you extend even further and make it more advanced, then Bodhisattva vows. That also make it more extended and become tantric vows, so like that.
也许大家听到别解脱戒，我觉得会有点害怕。这个到底是什么样一回事？是不是很严格？到底别解脱戒代表什么？其实我们也可以用另外一个很比较简单的方法来诠释这个别解脱戒。我们前几节课讲到十善、十不善业和十善，如何去遵守业力。那么把在这个十不善业和十善的基础上，再稍微的再增加一点这个束缚吧，那就是变成一个别解脱戒的这个戒体。那么在别解脱戒的这个佛教的别解脱戒体之上呢，再稍微再加一点，那就是菩萨戒。那菩萨戒再深刻一点，那就变成金刚乘的金刚戒。其实可以这么来观察，一切呢都是有十不善业和十善业作为这个因果，遵守因果为这个准则来诠释，再加一点变成一个解脱戒。
Yeah, so like all the way up to university study, you still use the same alphabet, A, B, C, D, still use, isn't it? Similar way. So even when we talk about Patimoksha vow, the main alphabet is the karma, the 10 virtues, 10 non-virtues, the very much abandonment of 10 non-virtues, and then the rest of the other non-virtues, adoption of 10 virtues, like that, even when it comes to Bodhisattva Tantric vow, those are the alphabet is still used, just may interpret in, how to say, used in bit different language, maybe different wordings only, so basic other than.
其实我们就像这个小学，就像做学生有小学、中学、大学啊、博士后一样，我们学习修行佛法也是一样的次第。那么这个我们遵守因果，了解何为十不善业，何为远离十不善业。这个呢，就像一个学习这个拼音的字母，我们从小学呢可以一直用到大学。再从拼音的字母上面再加上一些文法，那就是是中学。然后呢，我们再有成篇很美好的文章呢，变成大学。同样，这个根基呢就是字母。这个字母是什么呢？就是遵守业力，遵守因果准则因果准则，远离十不善业，勤修十大善业。这个呢是一切这个戒学的三真上学。戒上学的这个基础，遵守。
So yeah, so since we already study the small capable beings teaching, especially we talk about karma, isn't it? So therefore, just a little expansion on that. So no need to kind of worry, like kind of, or if I practice middle capable path, especially talk about vows, it's like, not something scary. Actually, it's still quite nice.
那么我们刚才我们这个课程已经圆满的下四道的这个分享。那么下四道中呢，是以这个遵守因果业力以及这个遵守因果为这个主干，所谓下四道。所以我们现在进入中四道的学习，大家大不可呢听到戒字呢就这个闻戒色变，不需要这样。中四道呢是在下四道基础上，也就是说去选择应该做的行为去远离不应该做的行为，就遵守因果。在这个为基础上呢，我们再加上这个三真上学的这个戒学是这样。
So when we talk about higher and higher vows, the attitude we need to carry generally is excitement, like a kindergarten graduating and going into a what do you call the other school, yeah? Then what do you say?
Middle school.
Middle school. Then
kindergarten, primary school first.
Primary school. Then after that you get primary school. Your graduation. Wow, it's such a happy thing. You will never really think about the hardship that you have to go through. You very much kind of occupied your heart with the graduation and kind of upgrading you, promoting you, to the higher level, isn't it? So when we take more and more vows, when we practice more and more precept, we need to have that kind of attitude.
那么我们应该作为一个学子，应该采取什么样的态度？我们谈到这个三真上学的，首先的第一个戒真上学，应该采取什么样的态度呢？我们应该采取一个非常兴奋、非常期望的态度，就好像这个幼儿园的小朋友，他毕业了，他进入了小学，然后从小学呢再去进入中学，这样的一个非常期望的、非常这个向往的一个正确的态度来接受学习这个戒学，这个中士道的这个学处，应该是这样的态度。
Yeah, like in the ordinary education, the higher the education, more the education you have, give more opportunity for job, in life, etc. Similarly, the more the vow that you have, the more the precept you have, the more the freedom you get, more the protection you receive. So vows are actually not restricting your freedom. In fact, providing you even more freedom, secure freedom. A lot of protection from problem, protection from faults. You see, so we need to have that kind of attitude. Yeah.
为什么会这样讲呢？其实呢，这个戒真上学、戒学呢，戒呢，它其实是会给予我们学子呢更多的这些保护，更多的这些自由，更多的这个功德的。因为由于这个戒学的这些功德呢，守戒的功德呢，我们可以受到更多的会更多的远离一切这个问题，并且呢得到这个三宝一切的保护。所以戒学不但呢不会呢使我们失去自由，是可以帮助我们获得更多的内心的自由和这个护佑的。因此呢，我们说我们应该有这个上进的这个阳光的态度去面临去接受戒学。
Yeah. So as long as these two important conditions that we have, then whatever vow that you take, you will never encounter difficulty to observe the vows. The two condition is, genuine renunciation towards samsara, genuine renunciation towards this complicated karma, genuine renunciation towards this complicated, disturbing negative emotions. Then the second important foundation is genuine sense of, interest in liberation, genuine sense of, well understanding the benefit of path, benefit of like wisdom of emptiness, benefit of love, kindness, compassion, benefit of liberation, benefit of enlightenment. Then you have a really irresistible aspiration to that, isn't it? So these two, when you have these two, then any vow you take, is almost like no room to transgress, no room to give up the vow. If you take refuge vow, the commitment is whole life, you won't give up. Even any circumstance, you won't give up. Let's say if you have another lay vow, like a 5 lay vow, in any condition you will not give up. Then others are the sangha vows. There are sangha vows like monastic vows. In any situation that you will never give up the vows. You see. Then about Buddhist vows, tantric vows, you will enjoy them. You will never give up on them. But if you don't have these two foundation, then all the vows will be fragile. Even refuge, you may give up anytime. Yeah, like that.
那么只要我们拥有两个非常坚固的这个条件呢，在这个条件之上，我们以这个两个非常重要的条件，可以帮助我们完整的去这个进入这个戒真上学去守戒呢。如果我们拥有这两种条件呢，那么戒真上学呢，在我们解脱道上呢，只是不但是这个通向一些善法的阶梯，也是基础，也是一切善法的前导。那么这两个条件是什么呢？哪两个条件非常重要，可以帮助我们完成这个戒真上学呢？就是这两个条件。第一个是对轮回升起无误的处理心，知道说已经深刻的了解轮回一切呢，这个无常，一切都是苦。那么要对轮回以及这个业以及这个无明呢，升起强大的这个出离心。第二呢，是对解脱产生了真正无误的这样的向往和信心。因为呢，通过学习，通过出离这个 下三道的升起这个对下三道出离的这个坚决的这信心之后呢，知道说了解了解脱，唯有解脱为乐，知道说这个爱慈悲这个涅槃以及这个解脱的大乐的这个向往，升起这样一个强烈的向往呢，是第二个条件。如果你的这个戒学是建立在这个正确的解脱以及这个对出离这个正确并且无误的向往这两个条件上呢，那么任何的戒体，包括这个别解脱戒，包括在家五戒包括出家戒，包括菩萨戒或者密乘戒，这些呢对你来讲都会是非常的这个轻松，并且是非常的无误的，非常的这个你会是如虎添翼似的这样的一个心态去，并且很自然的可以去承办，所以这是要建立在这两个基础上面。
So all the precepts from any category, it very clearly stated in the sutra, Vinaya Sutra, that it has to be precept of renunciation, not just precept, not just ordinary promise, to avoid something and do something or observe something. That's not good enough. It has to be a vow or the precept of renunciation. So renunciation, as I mentioned before, clear mind of renunciation. Then when you have that clear renunciation, you naturally will have the aspiration to liberation also. So then the precept, brings unbelievable benefit to you, your journey of life.
所以我们顾名思义，这边讲说是别解脱戒。为什么叫别解脱戒？我们在这个戒学中，解脱戒呢，指的是通向解脱，以解脱轮回为目的的所受的这个戒，叫做解脱戒，并不只是说去避免任何一些这些不好，并不是并不是以这个。仅仅以避免这些受苦或者这些仅仅一些不好为目的，而是以整个解脱为目的的所受的戒，所以叫做别解脱戒。要建立在这个基础上。
Because the main obstacle to transgress or defect our vows, precepts, starting from refuge, including observation of the 10 virtues, precepts, delusion, then karmic circumstances, and then samsaric, suffering experiences. You see, when the delusion arises, like delusion such as attachment arises, most of the monastic precepts will be lost. If aversion arises, anger arises, most of the Bodhisattva precepts lost. Then the rest of the general precepts, whenever karmic consequences, samsara comes in your way, like sickness, like problem in life, obstacle comes in your way, then we look for worldly solution, and until we tend to almost regard like there's no help from our precepts. Many think that precepts is my protection, but now when I'm sick, not protecting from me not getting sick, not protecting me from not getting problems, but the problems and the sicknesses, what samsara we go through is past karmic ripening. You see, so since we don't have a proper wisdom or renunciation about karma, then we may lose our commitment to our precepts in this kind of situation. If we don't have a proper renunciation about delusion, when the desire arises, desire will kind of sell you with a lot of flowery ideas. The desire is very smart, it's one of the smartest idea, delusion, give you unbelievable, exaggerated, false description. If you like, flower, you would just describe unbelievable qualities about flower until that you yum, Is it? So it's like that, it is it. So if we don't have a genuine wisdom or renunciation about delusion like desire, so easy to put aside our precepts, you see. So so the reason is here like that.
那么我们对于这个受戒戒真上学最大的这个障碍是什么呢？那当然就是我们的贪嗔痴。首先呢，因为最大的障碍是贪嗔痴。那比如当贪无明，首先我们第一个是无明对无明以及对轮回苦以及苦的环境。这些都会导致我们无法的去继续的去圆满戒真上学。那比如说，首先当无明会以当无明以贪出现的时候，当然作为别解脱戒，作为出家戒的会有很多的这种考验很容易会丢失。如果无明非常强制，贪念非常强制的时候，很容易丢失出家戒。那么特别是贪欲呢，它会以不同的形象以非常大的一个力量呢，来去来诱惑行者呢，去犯这些错误。那么无明，如果当嗔恨心一旦升起的时候，我们的菩萨戒呢，很容易就会丢失一旦升起嗔恨心，那么包括呢在我们在轮回中的种种的生活的这些，当碰到一些痛苦比如说病患的时候，我们很容易呢会放弃去医治戒体，却以世间法的方法，比如说生病了，我们只会以世间法去看病为主，却忘记了去医治戒体。所以呢，贪嗔痴这三毒呢是它的力量，三毒的力量呢是诱惑我们放弃戒体呢最强的一个动力，也是我们必须要克服的最重要的动力。
Because without proper basis, observation of vow also is very hard, very difficult. To live in a monastic vow without a proper basis, as discussed before, is one of the hardest. Living in the, keeping Bodhisattva precepts in this very challenging world, people just want to take advantage of you. If you be more kind, more gentle, more humble, in this kind of nasty world, to keep Bodhisattva vow, to be like Bodhisattva, go around, everybody will take advantage of you, So if you don't have a proper ground, it's not easy, it's very hard. Similar goes to rest of the vows, you see. But if we have a, qualified basis, and if our wisdom is, one step before, then the delusions, smartness, one step ahead from the smartness of the delusion, then these precepts are the real condition to bring so much happiness, so much confidence, so much meaning in life. This is the only thing really bring the meaning in your life. Really make you feel life is so worth, so worth living about, and so worth living in any situation, good or bad. Really make you feel wow, unbelievable life. You see. So these are the points. Is really important. Otherwise, Oh, as I mentioned before, the smartness of the delusion cannot underestimate. Cannot underestimate, up to now, there are 1,000 steps ahead than our wisdom. 1,000 steps, not just one few steps ahead, 1,000 steps ahead before than us, just talk about attachment, attachment, unbelievable. It's so clever, unbelievable clever. You see, it's so, then we are so fragile, so easy to get tricked. Is it like that? Is it? So we it's a very simple language, but we need to know this few points. Then you can enjoy your life.
所以我们这边讲讲，我们这个三真上学，我们道理都听过很多，我们道理三真上学这些道理大家都非常知道。这边的重点要了解，我们要如果能遵守这些真上学的重点是要建立在一个正确，刚刚讲说正确的基础上。那么如何建立在这个基础，这就是我们要学习并且要去串习的，这是非常不容易的。这边有个重点是说，我们这个魔君，也就是这个贪嗔痴三毒呢，它是非常聪明，它的力量呢是比我们的这个智慧呢，其实这个三毒的力量是比我们的智慧呢是要强大的，是更加强大。它似乎永远呢是走在我们的前面。我们作为一个这个解脱学的这个一个工作呢，就是如何打败这个三毒这个敌人。那么这么讲吧，这个我们虽然非常发心正确，要想去建立在把这个戒学建立好，但往往呢，我们的三毒呢都会用各种的形式呢来欺骗我们。有的时候呢，我们呢一不小心就会上当。因此呢，如何去要作为一个这个解脱军呢？我们必须要抢在这个无名，要抢在这个三毒的之前，要能比他快一点，快一步。那么能比他快一步呢？这就是我的这个所谓戒学的正确的这个基础。在这个末法期间，要能遵守任何的境界，当然是非常不容易。比如说，我们要来遵守出家戒，在这个充满诱惑的这个环境中是非常困难。我们要想遵守这个菩萨戒，稍不小心呢，就会被别人欺负。你要有强大的信心，觉得说这个强大的这个基础和正念能继续遵守菩萨戒。所以，如果当我们能遵守到在这个建立在这个别解脱这个对解脱的向往正确的这个基础上的时候呢，那我们这个戒律呢将会是通向一切善法的阶梯，将会带给我们无比的这个真正的快乐和喜乐的。所以我们首先呢，我们要学会打败这个魔君，要抢先一步打败魔君。
Yes. So otherwise, you may need to go through a very miserable monk's life, miserable nun's life, miserable, Bodhisattva vow practitioner, tantric vow practitioner, or miserable Buddhist, miserable Buddhist, very poor, suffering Buddhist. I tell you a story. In the younger time, when I was in Kopan, so we walked through the village, the main road, go ups and down to Kopan to Bauda. So there's a small shops, grocery shops or tea shops. So I encounter many times. I used to be quite fair. So they will say, "Hey, white Lama, come here." He say, "You're a very poor thing. You're very poor. You're very miserable life. You cannot marry, isn't it?" He say, "Can you marry?" I say, "I cannot marry." He say, "Very poor thing. You're suffering life. You're very poor white Lama. You cannot marry. Very miserable life. And I also used to think, yeah, I think I'm really miserable life because I cannot marry. I cannot have a girlfriend. A very miserable life. I used to think like that. Then after that, then, of course, there's a lot of teachings going on, especially the advice, not a classroom teaching, but advice from our gurus is so helpful. Will touch these side topics, very important, but sometimes miss out. Then after that, we will go around, maybe about 1-2 years later, he says, hey, well, Lama, come here. You still cannot get married. You still staying in a monastery. It's how poor boy, so miserable. And I used to think, you are the real miserable. I'm not. I'm much more happier than you. I'm much more less miserable than you. Happy, I don't know. Less miserable than you looking at so you see, like that, you can, and there are, some nuns and monks, truly go through a crisis, unbelievable, so much mental suffering, just because of need to live in monastery, just because of need to live in a vow, And we also know there are people who take initiation, have a tantric vows. It's like, I have so many tantric vows, so many initiation, oh my God, oh my Buddha, like, I lost my sleep, now I have this, wind problem because of too many sadhana, too many vows. And then there are also people who practice Bodhisattva vows, and say, I try to be kind to others, then people take advantage of me. I try to be humble, loving to others, but people, harm me, ingratitude about me. It hurts my heart, it breaks my heart. I'm so pain. Oh my goodness. No, say, I can't live like that, I need to be wild. There are so many suffering, practitioners who have a Buddhist vows also, and there are some just starting Buddhists, who have a basic refuge vow. After becoming Buddhist, after take refuge, you feel like you're completely lost your soul. Just like kind of like completely lost your direction. You're supposed to find your direction, but lost your direction. You see? It's kind of like you are thrown at some kind of like a crater, hole, and you are stuck there. You cannot get out, like that kind of like, I took refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Now I cannot get out, but at the same time, I cannot feel freedom. I cannot feel good about it, like completely stuck, so like that, like I went through, certain period of like that. Maybe some of you also have went through some kind of difficulties, you see, and the whole reason is because of the base, the two important base, as I mentioned before. And even in the, the Vinaya Sutra emphasized very clearly, has to be vow and the precept of renunciation. It's a deep meaning there, you see.
所以这边格西给我们讲很多故事，这边讲说呢，所以呢，如果我们这个解脱，这个戒体呢是没有建立在我们刚刚讲的2种正确的基础上呢，那很可能呢，有很多现象，你会变成一个非常不开心的、非常非常痛苦的一个出家人，或是变成一个非常痛苦的持守这个菩萨戒的人，你会很不开心的去受这个金刚戒。那么我们经常看到有很多这个末法时代看到很多这个出家众他是非常痛苦的，他被这个戒律呢，他不但没有这个戒律没有帮助他去获得更多的这个解脱和自由，反而是很多痛苦。那甚至这个受菩萨戒也是一样。那么我小的时候跟大家分享故事，我小的时候呢，刚刚我是很小时候5-6岁出家，那时候我的皮肤比较白。那么很年轻的时候呢，在我们的山村上面，我们作为在寺院出来的时候，有这个当地的有一个 一个农民呢，看到我呢就吱吱的这个赞叹，他就会说，哎呀，你这个他叫我小白脸，他说这个小朋友小白脸，你真可怜呐，你这么小就出家，那你就不能讨老婆喽，你要是很痛苦哦。那时候格西年纪很小的，那时候还不大懂事的时候，都心里想说，他自己也想说，哎呀，那我一定是很痛苦，我没有办法交女朋友，没有办法去结婚哦。然后他当然慢慢长大，这个在寺院中长大，接受了很多教法，并且呢，这个有我们的这些根本上师对这个轮回等等的戒律等等的教法这个熏陶之后呢，在内心中对这个法义呢升起这个不悟的坚信。那长大之后呢，再碰到同样这个农民呢，他还是想说，哎呀，你还是好可怜哦，你还是没有办法结婚，没有办法生孩子，你真可怜。那时候呢，格西说他心里就想说，没有啦，其实你更可怜，我至少不会比你更可怜。我不确定说我是否比你更快乐，但是至少不会比你更可怜，因为知道说轮回之苦，他们所受的这个生老病死之苦。同样来讲呢，我们也看到很多这个因为没有建立在正确基础上而出家的这些出家众，他们呢，出家之后，因为不了解戒体的戒律的这些功德呢，这个戒律把他们却变得心理上的负担，变得非常的不开心看到很多这样的情况还有呢，守这个菩萨戒，守了菩萨戒之后呢，因为没有建立的正确的发心，也就是对出离心和解脱的向往这个发心之上呢，受了菩萨戒，反而觉得说，哎呀，我受了菩萨戒，那么我反而我这样，我想对别人慈悲，但别人好像是却来欺负我。我这个个性是不行的，我怎么可以这样随便被别人欺负呢？哎呀，这个戒律太难受了。我要去能充分的表达我自己的想法，我要想说什么就说什么，我才觉得这个干脆，我才觉得过瘾。这个菩萨戒对我这个束缚太多了，有这样的想法。那么在密乘戒也是受了金刚戒，看到很多人因为没有正确的基础去受这个灌顶，然后受了这个金刚戒，然后有很多功课，被功课呢压的呢这个喘不过气似的就觉得这个每天呢觉得是这个负担重重，一点喜乐都提不起来。甚至有受这个皈依戒的，也这种情况，受了皈依戒之后呢，并不知道皈依是什么，就反而觉得被绑在那里，想出不来，想进不去，这样的情况，这些都是因为没有正确的这个发心基础的原因。
So the certain precepts, certain vows can be studied even before you take, but there are certain vows and certain precepts, because of the practice that you cannot even study before. Only after you take, then you live in the precept by learning, through the living in the environment. There's no danger of transgression. Then the community, like such as teachers will teach through it. Then you observe the precept like that. So such as monastery precepts, before you become sangha, you cannot study. So you cannot study. You see, cannot learn. So it's a forbidden. Even within the monastic vows, they are small to the higher, like about 3 different stages. The lower vow holder, cannot access to the higher vow. You can only access after you take the vow. Unbelievable. It's like that. Then Bodhisattva vow, you can learn. Many of them you can learn before you take it. But tantric vows, you can only learn after you take the vows. You see, a refuge vow, 5-lay vow, you can study first and you can take it. So there are many like that. So therefore here, doesn't matter whether we can learn before or not, as long as we have intact this 2 foundation, as talked so much before, as long as we have intact that, then nothing will go wrong. As long as that is not intact, then even after you learn the precept, very much possibility of breaking them.
那么在
Yeah.
戒律上面呢，很多戒律是不可以在这个受戒之前学习的，比如有些是可以学习。那比如说这个皈依戒和这个在家五戒的戒体呢，是可以先学习再去受戒。那么出家戒呢是不可以的。出家的戒呢，只有是在受了之后再继续学习，在之前是不可以学习的。那么菩萨戒和这个菩萨戒是可以学习，但是这个密乘戒呢，金刚戒呢是不能在受戒之前学习戒体，而是在受戒之后才能去学习。所以戒体本身是有些是可以学习，有些不能学习。但是呢，如果我们守任何戒是建立在这个正确的出离心和正确的对解脱的向往的正确的向往的这两个基础上呢，那任何戒体呢，你都是建立在一个正确的这个接受的这个基础上是没有问题的。所以这个两个基础是非常重要，是可以说是这个戒体的这个戒学的这个精要。今天我们讲的这个戒体，
So when we discuss detail on the vows, the question may arise. There's no detailed explanation on that, and how would I know that I can able to preserve the vows? Isn't it? There are a lot of questions, and there are also a lot of complaints about, like, such as tantric vows, that before knowing the vow, I was initiated. Now I get into trouble. You encounter many students like that. But the problem here is that the preparation aspect is not delivered. But even though there's nothing wrong, providing the vow only after initiation, that you know about the vow only after initiation, which is the practice. But then the fault is that didn't prepare well of the student before receive the initiation. So because of that, then unable to observe the precept properly, then a lot of transgressions, a lot of complications occur in among. So I hope that this conversation may give some clear answer. Since we are discussing about the precepts.
那么这个大家会自然有关戒律呢，大家自然会有这样一个问题，这也是很正常的。就是说我不知道这个戒律是什么，我怎么去守呢？那比如说，特别是在金刚证这个所谓这个金刚证的灌顶之后呢，我们才会去接受这个所谓金刚戒，也就是密戒。密戒呢，只有受了之后才会能讲到戒体，而且是相当的复杂。这个很多人会说我受了之后，受了灌顶之后，受了密戒之后，才知道说我并没有办法去接受这些，并没有办法如理的去遵守，那怎么办？这些就是因为在基础没有打好，没有打好基础就急着去受戒，产生的问题。去急着去受灌顶，或者有的时候受灌顶之后，你并不知道受灌顶所要来接受的这些戒体。通常来讲呢，任何的这个出家戒也好，或者是密戒也好，别解脱戒、在家戒也好，这些戒体呢，那都必须我们再次的重复这个正确的这个受戒的基础发心上面，这样子才不会出错。
So the conclusion is, whatever level of practice that we take, whatever level of vow that we take, including entering into Buddhist path by taking refuge, we should be able to, we have to be able, how to say, okay, now my English going upside down. We have to be able to find meaning in every aspect. We have to find meaning in it and be a happy Buddhist, be a happy monk, happy nun, happy whatever level of practice you. So this is the moral. You have to be, when you find meaning in it, that's the cause for happiness, isn't it? You see, whenever you find meaning in it, then you will feel happy. You see, so you have to be happy Buddhist, not a moody Buddhist, not a miserable Buddhist. You have to be happy monk, not a miserable monk. Happy nun, not miserable nun. Very important. Yeah.
所以我们要作为一个快乐的佛教徒， 要作为一个快乐的出家众师父，要作为一个快乐的这个尼师啊，作为一个快乐的这个修行大乘佛法人呢，也就是说要快乐的去接手这些戒体。因此呢，我们必须要弄清楚接受这些戒体的它的发心和基础。那所以重点在哪里呢？就是如何在我们接受这些戒体的接受这些在这个正确的发心机制上呢，在我们的戒体上找到它的意义。我们能了解这些戒体的意义的时候呢，我们才能会把这个戒体呢变成我们这个成佛一些善法的阶梯，一些善法的这个前导，也变成这个一些教法的这个圣状。因此呢，我们的目的是要作为一个快乐的佛教徒，作为一个快乐的出家众，一个快乐的尼师。那么这样子呢，我们这个戒体呢，才真正成为我们成佛的助缘。因此呢，要找到这些戒体的意义何在所以这是很重要的我们一定要找到它的意义，并且把这意义呢贯彻在我们的生活中。
So in the root text, talking about the Patimoksha vow, it is a similar synonymous. Other word that used is individual liberation vow. So when we talk about individual liberation vow, there are 7 kinds. And that 7 kind of individual liberation vow categorized into 2. One is the lay practitioner vow. Another one is the ordained practitioner's vows.
那么好，我们现在讲到这个戒学的别解脱戒，叫做别解脱戒，就是说也是个别解脱的戒。这个个别解脱呢，有分7大项目，7大项目呢又总设为2大项，有这个居士戒以及这个出家戒，以居士和出家两大分类。
So the 7s are first, 7s are the first one is the so basically there are 2 lay vows, and the rest is the ordination vows.
这七大分类呢，前2项是这个居士戒，那么也是别解脱戒，那么后面呢都是由这个有出家戒的部分。
So if just a number, laymen and laywomen's, laymen's vow 1, laywomen's vow, then the novice monk's vow, novice nun's vow, fully ordained monk's vow, fully ordained nun's vow, then provision nun's vow. So these are the 7.
也就是说，有这个居士的男居士、女居士这个分别的戒，那么有这个出家戒中有这个沙弥戒，有这个有大戒，也有这个具足戒，有这个沙弥戒和具足戒这样的分类
So the lay women and lay men, the lay vows, such as refuge and 5 lay vows, refuge and the 5 lay vows. So these are the example.
那么在家戒呢，这个居士戒呢有这个皈依戒和这个在家5戒的在细分。
So refuge, taking refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha, then abstaining, by taking refuge in Buddha, then you are not taking refuge in worldly gods and nagas and spirits. By taking refuge in Dharma, then you are not harboring harmful attitudes, violent attitudes, harmful attitudes. By taking refuge in this Sangha, then you are, try to stick with virtuous friends and stay away from, non-virtuous friends or the communities.
那么首先我们讲在这个皈依戒里，包括呢在皈依戒的部分呢，皈依佛之后呢，我们首先有皈依佛为主，皈依佛、皈依法、皈依僧。那么在皈依佛的这个层次上呢，一旦皈依佛， 我们这个戒律呢，就是不再皈依任何这世间的神事和神灵啊。当我们皈依法之后呢，皈依了法之后呢，我们就要远离伤害任何的有情和众生。那么皈依身之后呢，我们呢去以这个善友，以这个善友呢为伴，远离呢恶友。这是皈依的三戒的一个总摄。
So the basic attitude is yourself, recognition or regarding as a samsaric patient. It's like a patient, a sick patient. Because to understand that we are carrying contaminated aggregates, which is under the control of karma and delusion. So because of that, you regard as a patient. Then Buddha as the qualified doctor, to prescribe the correct medicine. Then Dharma is like an actual medicine. Then the Sangha is like the nurse that who assists you to take the medicine and travel through the recovery, and actualize the cessation, the liberation, which is, the full recovery from the sickness of the samsaric contamination. So this is the basic attitude, when it comes to taking refuge.
那么在皈依学处，一个正确的皈依的态度是这样子，是自己呢，是这个轮回呢，为这个所这个病患，轮回本身自己呢，作为在轮回中呢，作为一个病人，视自己为病人，而这些无明和业呢，就像这个病患，而这个佛陀呢，就像是名医，而这个法呢，就是良药。而生前呢，就是帮助我们愈合的这些这个护士。我们个人呢，作为病人呢，希望呢，尽快的去解脱这个病患，这是皈依学处一个正确的态度。
So then 5 lay vows is like no killing, no stealing, no lying, no sexual misconduct, no intoxication. So these are the 5 lay vows. So when we talk about 5 lay vows, it's not something that you have to take all. So you can take according with what you are capable to observe. So you can start with refuge. Then after that, maybe you can add one more vow. Maybe maybe take the vow of no killing, or maybe take the vow of no lying, or take the vow of no stealing, or maybe take the vow of no sexual misconduct, or you can take 3, or you can take all, so there are many options.
那么在家五戒，我们所谓在家五戒呢，是由这个一个信念和行为的准则。这边呢讲到是说，不杀生第1戒，不偷盗第2戒，不邪淫第3戒，不妄语第4戒，不饮酒是第5戒。那么在家5戒中，我们可以按照自己的条件呢去接受1戒、2戒、3戒，或者4戒，或者整个5戒我们可以按照自己的条件去接受。
So the encouragement, the inspiration that will come to take this different lay vows, you refer to the teaching that we discuss on karma, like by observing the virtue of non-killing, there are tremendous benefit, for good health, for long life, the karmic result relation to environment, karmic result in relation to the resultant effect, the result, similar to the cause. There's so many beautiful benefits, and if we commit killing, also there's nasty consequences. So those are the where you take the inspiration or the courage, to take the vows.
那么我们比如说要接受在家5戒时，我们可以首先去学习这个5戒的它的这个功德和这个它的等等。那我们刚刚比如说在这个如果遵守这个不杀戒的时候，我们可以借由了解这个杀生的过患，以及不杀生的功德，包括这个杀生的这些因果业报，我们在前几节课已经很详细的讲过杀生的任何的这些异熟果等等的这些果报。那么 包括这个不杀生的这些功德，我们以这样的一个这个了解呢，去接受接受这个首先这个不杀生的这个在家五戒。
There's one vow that I always encourage, for the lay people, especially, who are couple, who have partner, to take the vow of, no sexual misconduct. You see, you take the vow of no sexual misconduct, if possible, by the both party, then give full trust to each other. That's the best security, because most of the relationship, there are many reasons. There may be many other reasons, but one of the major reasons is distrust, suspiciousness of the unethical commitments from the partner. So when you take the vow of no sexual misconduct, it's kind of like endorsing, like signaturing, real signaturing of your commitment to each other, like that. It's very, very beautiful vow.
那么我在家居士在家居士的弟子中呢，有一个我们这个第3条戒呢，我是经常鼓励这个在家居士，特别是已经成家的这些夫妻呢，来接受就是不邪淫这个戒。其实这个不邪淫这个戒呢，如果两方这个在家居士的这个先生妻子两方都来接受，同时接受呢，其实对婚姻呢是一个最好的保护。因为不邪淫，大家都在遵守不邪淫呢之间呢，会把这个婚姻基础呢，会建立在一个互相信任、更加殊胜的一个互动的环境中。那很多时候，我们这个婚姻关系最大的一个障碍、最大的一个祸患，就是互相之间的不信任。那么，而这个不邪淫，这个在家五戒的不邪淫呢，是一个帮助，并且呢，可以帮助这个圆满婚姻呢，应该是个最好的助缘。所以我经常会鼓励我在家的弟子，这些夫妻呢，去接受这个不邪淫第3的这个五戒的第3戒。
Yeah, so such as this vow, is a great protection for yourself, your health, your physical, mental health, your partner's physical, mental health. The good health and harmony, happiness of the entire family, and also it's a protection for the society. It's an unbelievable, beautiful vow, really, really, really beautiful vow.
所以这条戒呢，是可以首先保护家庭的和谐，保护个人的道德，也是对这个国家社会一个很大的一个这个助缘和一个善的能量。所以这个不邪淫这条戒呢，是非常一个美好、非常具有功德、非常具有这个助缘的一条戒。
As for refuge vow, once you take refuge vow, then you are eligible, or how to say, you are capable to receive all the higher vows. If you have refuge vow. If you don't have refuge vow, none of the higher vows can be transmitted into your continuum. Like no ordination vow, no Bodhisattva vow, no tantric vows. So even from that point of view, the refuge vow is so important.
那么，但是呢，所有的这些戒体呢，都是建立在这个皈依戒上面。所以，一旦我们具有了皈依戒之后呢，我们才可以接受所有其他的增上戒。
Then, when we talk about protection, everybody fear of, unbearable suffering, like in hell, being born in hell, hungry ghost, animal. Refuge is the ultimate protection for us to completely stop our next rebirth in the 3 Lord realms. So once you have a intake refuge vow, that's it. The next rebirth, no more in 3 Lord realms. That much protection. Unbelievable.
那么我们众生都非常惧怕痛苦，特别是投身在下三途的这个痛苦，地狱道、恶鬼道等等的畜生道的投身在这样下三途的痛苦。那么皈依呢， 皈依戒，皈依的戒呢，可以保护众生呢，远离在下一世呢投生在下三途，所以皈依戒呢，它是极具这个功德的。
So it's also quite convenient and easy to take. As long as someone who has a pure refuge lineage and intact with their own refuge precept, refuge vow from since the day that they take, then you can just take. You will take just few minutes, or just the ceremony itself. Less than an hour. Then, as far as concerned 5-lay vow, usually whenever whenever there is a refuge ceremony, usually the 5-lay vows are included. So it's just a matter of the student whether from your heart you are also taking any of the 5-lay vow or not. It's not even need to mention in the word. Whenever you take refuge, you can take together any of the lay vows. You see, and sometimes mentioned in the word, by the refuge preceptor or the organizer, say, okay, we're also offering 5-lay vows. But otherwise, whether mentioned or not, from your side, you can take the vow when you are taking the refuge vow.
那么这个皈依戒呢，我们应该从一个具有亲近传承的这个长老师长那边呢，得到这个皈依戒。那皈依戒要给予皈依戒呢，只要是有个具格。有亲近传承呢，就是可以从他那边去得到。那么这个皈依，一般呢，这个在给这个皈依的时候呢，一般都会包括了在家五戒的这个受。那就在我们这方面，我们自己在接受皈依戒的时候，也可以自己想说已经接受了这个在家五戒，但是这个一般呢，他都会在这个皈依仪式的时候呢，也会同时给予在家五戒的。所以有机会的时候呢，要从一个亲近的传承的这个地方呢，去接受这个在家这皈依戒。
Yeah. So then, as far as concerned with the Bodhisattva vow, there are 18 root vows to practice, and then 46 secondary vows to be observed. And usually you receive this precept of the vow. During initiations, you receive these vows separately. You can take these vows in person with your guru, or you can take these precepts and vows in your visualized, Buddha and Bodhisattva, images, holy objects. But the vow you take in relation to Buddha and Bodhisattvas.
那么在这个菩萨戒呢，菩萨戒包含了18的根本戒，以及46个分戒，也就是18根本堕，46个分堕。那么一般呢，菩萨戒呢是在灌顶的时候，在这个大乘的金刚乘的灌顶时候会给予菩萨戒。那么这个菩萨戒一旦受过第一次从这个传戒师的面前亲自受过之后呢，就可以在佛像或者是在这个佛堂之前呢，自己再重复的再重受。所以这个有18和46的根本戒为分别。
Then as for tantric vows, there are vows in relation to 5 Dhyani Buddha. Then this has to be taken in person, not like the Bodhisattva vow. This has to be taken in person. You usually, the vows are conferred during the high Sukhi Tantric initiations.
那么在这个金刚戒，也就是说密戒呢，那一般都是由这个在这个金刚乘的这个金刚灌顶中才会给予的密乘戒。密乘戒呢，包括了五方佛戒。那么五方佛戒呢，必须是要在这个亲自的在亲自的这个受戒师面前来这个接受的。
Then to be understood that these higher vows has to be built on the basis of the earlier vows. So tantric vow has to be built on top of Bodhisattva vow. Bodhisattva vow has to build on top of the 5-lay vows and the refuge vows, like that.
那么这些戒体呢，都是建立在这个按阶级所建立，也就是说密乘戒必须建立在这个 菩萨戒的这个戒体上，菩萨戒建立在这个别解脱戒，这个别解脱戒建立在这个皈依戒这样的一个次序上的。
So for the Sangha vow, then not necessarily has to build on the basis of Bodhisattva and Tantric vow, but it has to be built on the basis of refuge and the other like five lay precepts.
那么这个出家戒呢，它并不是建立在这个菩萨戒或者密戒这些基础上，却是建立在这个这个皈依戒和别解脱戒的基础上的。
Yeah, for the ordained sangha, the refuge vow still stay as a vow, the precept aspect by its own individual stand. But as far as concerned, the 5 lay vow precepts, it emerge, like dissolve into the higher vow. It doesn't hold as a separate lay vow because you are no more lay person. You're going to become ordained, so that title will be wiped off, but the practice will be dissolve or emerge with the higher vows, like the monastic vows.
那么对出家戒呢，这个皈依戒呢，就自然的已经综合以及融合到这个出家的这个更高的这些戒体中了，不像是在这个在家众呢，这个皈依戒还是和这个其他的这个见级的戒呢，它还是独立的并行，而出家戒呢，皈依戒已经融合在它的这个整个戒体中。
So let's say in public, the audience of Sangha and the lay people, and the Guru is providing a refuge vow and the 5 lay vows. So the Sangha can retake refuge vow together with the audience, but the Sangha cannot participate taking the 5 lay vows.
这个例子就是这样子。如果对出家众而言，如果说有在这个受戒在一个公众受戒的这个情况下，作为出家众，你还是可以重新再受这个皈依戒，但是呢你就不能再重新受这个在家五戒，这个在家五戒不能重受了但是出家这个皈依戒是可以重受的。
Because by refreshing the lay vow to the audience, there's a very much will transgress of wiping away the ordained vows. So there's quite a serious thing.
那么这是一个非常大的这是个很重点。对出家众而言呢，如果你重受已经受了完成了这个出家戒，你再去重受在家五戒的话呢，会把这个出家戒去覆盖过了，所以这是个非常重的一个过患。所以出家众呢，不能一旦受了出家戒之后，不能重新再受在家五戒。
So some Sangha, if not get a, proper guidance and Vinaya, understanding, then because we usually have a lot of public events where Sanghas and lay people together, and there are a lot of, the lay precept is very common. So when they grant the refuge, the Sangha also do, participate all the ceremony. Then when grant the 5 lay vow, also the Sangha, stand up and participate all the ceremony. So I see, a lot of such cases. So it's good to know, especially to the Sanghas, and for lay people, no worries.
为什么在这边要提醒大家呢？格西见到这样的情况，就是说，在大众有这种大众受戒的这种条件情况下呢，很多时候这个皈依戒受完之后呢，这个传戒师会重新再传这个在家五戒，那帮助新的还有这个旧的这些在家五戒的还戒。那很多看到很多已经出家众呢，因为搞不清楚状况呢，同时呢也就跟着跟着一起就再重新受一遍了这个在家五戒。其实这是一个过患的。 这是一个过患，因为很多人搞不清楚状况，在大众的情况下，格西也见到过这种情况，所以在这边呢，特别为如果有出家众的提醒一下说，如果碰到这种情况呢，只能说皈依戒，不要再去跟大众一起再去重新受这在家五戒。
So sanghas can refresh Buddhist vows, tantric vows, like that. Yeah.
但是这个出家众呢，可以重新再受菩萨戒，以及重新再受这个金刚戒、密戒，这是可以重受的。
So for the sangha individual liberation vow, there's a preordained sangha, very much, three to be abandoned, 3 to be adopted. Then second is a novice, 36 vows, both for nun and monk. Then after 253 vows, for the monks, fully ordained monks. For the nuns, they are slightly more. Then probationary nuns has on separate vows, and there are a few different traditions, Vinaya traditions, who have a slightly different numbers in that also. But then here, no need to discuss about it. Just have a just idea.
那么当然，这个出家戒我们这边就不详细的去谈我这边我个人也不是很清楚一些名相。那我这边出家戒当然有这个别解脱戒，之后有沙弥戒，以及这个36的沙弥，以及这个256的大戒，包括这个尼师的这些大戒，这些呢有很多的细分，我们这边就不细谈有关出家戒，那有很多层次的细分。
Okay, so I will stop by reading two quotations. One is to the benefit of the liberation vows. Then another one is how to observe the vows. So the first one, the great final Nirvana Sutra says, ethical discipline is the ladder to all virtues. It is their foundation, just as the earth is the foundation for planet and the like. Just as a master, trader goes first among all traders. So ethical discipline goes first among all virtues. Like the hoisted banner of Indra, ethical discipline is the banner of all teachings. It cuts down all sins and eliminates the path to the miserable realms. Since it cures all the illness of the sins, it is like the medicinal plant. Ethical discipline is the stock of provision for the terrible road of cyclic existence. It is the weapon that destroys the afflictions, the enemies. It is the spell destroying the poisonous snakes of the afflictions. It is the bridge to cross over the waters of sin. How beautiful it is.
那这边呢，格西说我们在结束之前会给大家分享2个这个有关这个戒律的这个书圣。那么在这个上士道中解释呢，这边念的是《大般涅盘经》。在这个第15页给大家分享的这个课前念诵品里面，第15页《大般涅盘经》里面，这边讲到说戒律呢是通向一切善法的阶梯。戒律是根基，就像大地是各种树木等植物的根基。戒律呢是一切善法的前导，就像商主所有商人的前导。这个戒律呢是一切教法的圣状，就像地是天树立的圣幡一样这么也是代表王权的这个旗帜这样子。戒律呢能断除一切罪恶及恶取的道路。那戒律呢犹如能治疗一切罪恶顽疾的这个药草。那么疗愈最殊胜者呢称为药王。若能立于树前呢，其5脏6腑的技能分明。所以圣天王般若经、般若波罗蜜多经也说为诸众生而作医治，治诸疾病如树药王。那么戒律呢是山有这个艰险路上的食粮。戒律呢是摧毁烦恼仇敌的兵器。戒律呢是能除烦恼毒蛇的神咒。戒律呢是渡越恶罪河流的桥梁。 所以这边呢是在大般涅盘经中所说。
So then Nagarjuna also says, ethical discipline is like the ground supporting the animate and the animate worlds. It is to be the foundation of all good qualities.
孤主龙树呢，这边也说，戒律呢是一切功德的依处，犹如情世间和气世间依仗大地。
Then how to observe the vows? How serious that one should take to all these precepts. The sutra requested by Brahma says, rely upon the trainings, undertake them earnestly from the heart, do not give them up later or break them even to save your life. Always maintain them diligently and engage in the discipline. So this is how we should observe the vows.
那么我们这个如何去守戒呢？这边呢就这个梵文经中讲说呢，应依止学处，一心奉行，宁舍性命也不可损坏或舍弃，要永远的精勤护持，依戒而行。
Then the sutra on having pure ethical discipline, it says, "O monks." So this is specifically for the ethical, the ordained sanghas vows. "O monks, to lose your life and die is excellent, but to ruin and lose your ethical discipline is not. Why? Losing your life and dying expand only the lifespan of this rebirth. But if you ruin and lose your ethical discipline, you will experience a great downfall, separating from your lineage and giving up happiness over 10 million lifetimes." So that much serious.
那这边呢，又按照佛陀在成就真实施罗经里面的，那这个是对出家众讲的一个道理呢。他说，守护戒律呢，既是要舍弃性命，也是在所不惜。这边讲到说，比丘们宁舍性命而死，也不可以失坏戒律。为什么呢？因为舍命而死，也不过是今生的寿命终结，但是失坏戒律，却会在千万生中失去自己的种性，也就是暇满人生和安乐，长时处于堕落之境。
So Lama Tsongkhapa said in the Lamrim here, general, furthermore, you might think that even were you to incur an infraction, transgression of the vow, you could confess it afterward. Many of us think like that, isn't it? I break, no problem. I know how to purify later, I got Vajrasattva, I got forbidden power, then the monks will say, I have, this confession ceremony. So Lama Tsongkhapa says, you cannot do that, not allowed to do that. You cannot. You could confess it after. However, in this case, you lack an attitude of restraint that prevent you from committing the action again. So engaging in this infraction is like eating poison and telling yourself that you could always take the antidote later. The example is so beautiful, isn't it?
对，在这边宗喀巴大师也讲过说，这个在弥勒宗喀巴大师弥勒释之后经说，在末法最后的500年中，某些出家菩萨和在家菩萨会宣称这个忏悔罪过，便能把罪业完全消除。他们呢，在发怒这个堕罪时会这样说：日后在染犯这种罪恶时，我必定会忏悔。但是他们自己并没有防止自己再次造罪。我告诉你们，这些所造的死业，所谓死什么意思呢？这就像服毒的人，这些人死后呢，必会堕落必定颠倒堕落恶趣。所以也就是说，不能说造了戒，再受了戒，再去这个造业，然后再去忏悔，就这么简单，不是这么简单的，可以就还境的。讲到这个，宗喀巴大师也这么讲。
Yes. Yeah, this mistake, we may commit danger of committing, that we can purify later, then we are not careful, so we have to remember what Lama Tsongkhapa says, we have to be very serious, we have to, take even more important than our own life, we have to guard the precepts and vows.
所以宗喀巴大师说，我们这个守戒呢，就应该护持戒律呢，就像护持我们自己生命一样，是这样的一个态度，非常重要的这样的态度去守护这样的戒体。我们一定要记得宗喀巴对我们的忠告。Okay,
thank you very much. Sorry, again, it took a long time. Yeah, Meda was saying maybe have some time for question and answer, but I don't know. If you are okay, then welcome question and answer. Otherwise, we can stop here.
很抱歉又占用大家很多时间。本来今天是有些师兄有些问题要问答的，但不晓得大家是不是太晚了。如果你们还是觉得不太晚的话，我们还是可以问一两个问题。那么大家觉得呢 ？I think maybe one or two questions that someone already asked.
Okay.
We could. 中文班是。有这个法贤师兄是不是有问题？我们还是可以问一个问题。好，they say no, not too late. Somebody said, so just respond. Yeah. 那么这边有这个我给大家
喂，可以问吗？可以提问是吧？美德师姐，你帮忙分一下，就是我记刚才讲到，就是在我们这个守戒的过程中，就是对我们最大的敌人就是这个贪嗔痴的这个烦恼是很，是可以说是很障碍我们这个就是持守精进的戒律。那能不能请各系举一些就是具体的方法，比如说我们在这个举一个例子，比如说这个过午不食啊，当我们说这个人他出现一些身体的问题，就疾病的时候，那这是非常难就是持守的。那这个时候应该怎么办呢？是说我依然要坚持呢，还是说我要做一些妥协呢？那这一方面，请各系能开示一下一些方法或者是
方法。好的。So Gena, the question comes actually from regarding vows that you mentioned that the 3 points in the mind are the most obstacle, right, for the condition to receive it purely. That, for example, can you recommend some method to oppose the obstacles? For example, regarding not eating afternoon for sanghas, that if like a sangha, an ordained sangha, receive this vow of not eating in the afternoon, right? But if there's a problem due to health conditions that it's difficult to preserve this vow, what a person should do to give up the vow due to health condition or preserve and perseverance, what should that person do? This is
in
one.
The Vinaya. In the Vinaya, Buddha always, Buddha's teachings are all based on compassion. All based on compassion. All Vinaya sutras, everything, the root is compassion. So therefore, and sick. If Sangha is sick, and that is the most important area to be cared. Most important to be cared. So. Even you have taken the precept of not eating afternoon onward as a sick person, there's no breaking of the precepts. Buddha already, when Buddha revealed the Vinaya, already give permission there. When you are not sick, when you are able to, then yes, it's good for you, you practice. But your body cannot cope, nothing to do with the desire, nothing to do with, desire on food and the taste, etc. Just because of your body need the fuel to observe the vow, which is so precious. Then Buddha says you release the fasting and you should eat. You can eat as much as you can.
那可惜讲这法贤师兄他说这个佛陀的一切戒体呢，最重要呢是建立在慈悲的基础上。 包括所有的这个僧团的戒，最重要呢还是以这个慈悲为这个基础的。那么特别是在对这个守护僧团这方面呢，僧团的这个身体啊，是一个非常重要的。佛陀当初这给予这个戒体的时候，这是个非常重要的一个因素。因此呢，以慈悲为基础呢，这是很重要的一个基础。那么，当一个僧团如果是虽然守了过午不食这个戒，那因为身体的关系来去这个适合的去调整这个戒体，为了身体去吃饭，这不是破戒，这绝对不是破戒，而是呢因为这个僧团的本身的这个身体的健康是一个戒体所要照顾的一个重要的考虑的一个佛陀当初的考虑的一个对象，所以我们以这个所以以这个为基础是不是破戒的？应该去这个以身体为基础。
So not just a sick
我不
body.
是这个
not just a sick body. Even permission that if your body strength required to guard the Dharma, protect the Vinaya. If there's external forces that are going to ruin, because for Sangha, that the Sangha community, the common, the monastery premises are one of the essential for Sangha community. And even during Buddha's time, there's an obstacle occur to come to destroy, and the Sangha are the one that need to guard them, protect them. So for that, then you need a physical strength, isn't it? You need a physical strength. So even for that kind of reason, it needed to break the fasting. You are allowed, and not only that, if you are offering benefit to like service, like a servant service, like many of the novice nuns are very much like an attendant and a servant to the fully ordained sanghas. Because so require a lot of physical energy, because need to clean up the temple, need to wash the robes, need to do a lot of chore, so you need this monks need a lot of physical strength, and even for that reason you are allowed to eat. You see, then for study, if you need to do a rigorous study, maybe like day and night or rigorous study, so without the physical fuel, physical strength, how are you going to study? Your cognitive capability will be degenerate if you don't have a proper strength, isn't it? So if you are doing a genuine, cultivation of studies, etc., then in order to protect your vehicle, the body, then you're also allowed to eat. You see, like Tibetan, many of the, almost all Tibetan monks and nuns, they eat, not only dinner, but like me, I eat maybe, I don't know how many. But I mean, for me, maybe it's really breaking a vow, because I have a lot of excuses, But usually our excuses is we need to study, rigorous study. I need to do rigorous study. So therefore, I need a lot of fuel. So therefore, I need to eat dinner, So then we kind of regard that not breaking the vow.
那么这个不但是对这些身体有特别需要的病患者呢，绝对呢这个午后再吃呢，这个是绝对不是破戒之外呢，那么还有其他的一些因素呢，如果是基于这些以下的3种这个发心呢，这也是可以允许的。第一个呢，就是尘世。如果说那么在古代的这个僧团呢，是非常的有僧团的有种种的这些尘世的方面。包括呢，要保护这个僧团。那在古代的时候，一个僧团呢是有很多外来的侵扰。那么，在一个僧团一定会有一个所谓承事者，他是专门是保护这个僧团、保护寺院的。那么他需要很多的精力来做事情，来这个承事。所以呢，如果是这样的一个执事的这个位置呢，那他是需要身体的强壮，他才可以去做事情。所以他也是所以他来这个午后吃饭呢是。应该是绝对是不是犯戒。那么还有就是另外的一般的这个程式，比如说这个具足戒的 有这个具有具足戒的这些沙弥去承事这些居守这个大戒的，比如这些承事寺院有很多的工作因为呢要承事寺院，承事大家，那需要精力。那么因为这样的职务的关系，去来吃饭午后用餐呢，为了身体强壮，这个也是一定不是这个犯戒。那么第三呢，是有这个很庞大的学习的任务，比如说这个学习经文、学习这个传法、立身、学习等等。那这因为要这个身体的强壮，才能这个头脑才好使。那因为这样的原因呢，这个去吃饭也是绝对是不是破戒。那像在藏传佛教中，所有的这些比丘、比丘尼呢，都是没有一般都会过午，都有吃饭，都有食，因为他们的学习量有相当大的学习量像格西说，他一天要吃好几餐，因为他经常要用脑，然后有的时候不单是一天3餐，可能4餐5餐要吃很多，因为他要很大的这个精力呢，才要去用脑去讲法或者去学习。那出于这个原因呢，他也吃很多饭，吃很多东西，那是没有问题的。所以这个善巧方面，因为这个发心而定这方面，
Yeah, something came in my mind, but then suddenly went off. That's one important point. Oh yeah, especially in the Vajrayana practice, then through the genuine capability of concentration and genuine practice of mantra, then you transform the substance of food into a nectar, into an inner offering, into a very beneficial supplement to your different form of practices. You see, so for that kind of capability, then not only just eating normal food, but there are so many other food which are also prohibited, but then you can, through that capability, you can turn into a beneficial doings, you see. So there are such also like that. So many of our gurus, they observe very pure Vinaya vow, but then they consume the meat. I don't think they just simply consume because of they want to fill their stomach. I think they are consuming with samadhi, they're consuming with the power of mantra, or they're consuming with so many other altruistic reasons. So, but when it comes to very strict the common Vinaya rule, nothing to relate with the Bodhisattva yana and the Tantra yana, then yes, this rule comes a very kind of like a sharp cutting by the sword, yes, yes, no, no. It's like that.
可惜说，大家刚刚望到，还有从另外一个角度呢，就是由这个金刚乘的这个金刚界里面呢，有这个把这个食物借由这个行者的弹净和咒语的力量呢，以金刚乘这个把这个食物呢转变成这个甘露。转变成这个类供的这个修法，那么借由这个禅定和这个咒语的转变呢，把所有的用食呢可以变成一个修行的一个助缘，并且呢加持这个一个加持，那这就是所谓这个类供的这个修法所谓类供金刚乘类供的修法。那么这是在大乘金刚乘里面的可以说转这个受用呢为甘露的修法。那自然呢，所有的这个用食呢，就不仅仅是用食，而是变成一个修行的一个观想和这个禅定。那么在我们的这个很多这个殊胜的上师金刚上师，他们的遵守的这个比丘戒也100%这个完美的清净的这个出家戒的同时呢，他们呢也会比如说 他们甚至有些不是吃素的啊，有吃肉啊等等的这个用食的，他们那是因为他们用他们的加持咒语，他们所有的受用呢都变成这个道用，变成这个禅定的食粮，所以这个有很多这样的这个例子。那么在大乘和金刚乘里面呢是有这样的允许。当然，在这个别解脱的戒题呢是非常的这个严格，1是1，2是2。那这是所以说以什么方向、什么方位去看待这件事情啊，来分析的啊。
Yeah, so there's a prayer, like kasemen and whatever. So there's a, you consume the food, anytime when you eat the food, when you drink drinks, then of course, especially if you need to, break the fast, then you say, I'm eating, you eat the food as a medicine, not as a food, not as a normal, not as ordinary, gross food. You eat as a medicine to sustain this vehicle of the precious human rebirth. Then you eat the food without any substance of docha, attachment, aversion. Then you don't eat, for the purpose of filling your stomach, fulfilling your hunger. It's a simply you consume the food and the drink to sustain this vehicle to be most beneficial for the well-being of others. Like that.
刚才这个格西念诵的一段藏文呢，是这个在经营时代或者是在这个戒师出关的时候，如何去享用食物的这个一个加持。那这个意思就是说，当这个把这个食物呢，视作为这个药物的甘露来受用，那转变这个食物变成药物的甘露之外呢，我们这个发着一个把这个不是以贪嗔痴，不是以这个欲望而去用食，而是把这个食物变成一个利益众生的一个渠道，这样的发心，轻轻的发心，在这样的发心的加持上，把一切的食物变成甘露，变成这个药物的这个甘露来受用，这样的一个祈祷文。
Then Buddha himself, during his lifetime, he take care of his, weak and dying monk like himself, practice as like a hospice, like today's time, like hospice, care for his dying monks, weak monks, even in the middle of the night, feeding them with food and medicines like that, So yeah, it's so clear that Buddha have given permission to, as long as you're sick, you have to consume medicine in any circumstance, in whatever kind of situation. When you need to eat medicine, should eat. When you need to eat food, should eat.
那么再回到原来的问题，任何的僧团，只要是因为健康的、实际健康的，特别是病人，甚至很多有些临终的情况下，或者病人在这种情况下，任何时间因为吃药的关系，因为需要着身体的关系吃饭，这些都是没有任何毫无疑问的就可以就照做，这不算，这个绝对不算犯戒啊，因为身体的关系啊。
Then, as I mentioned, as I shared the story, during the teachings of Four Noble Truth, when Buddha, after the 6-year retreat, that he break the fasting, he break the fasting and he consumed the milk from the 5 red cow. Remember, it's not because of the Buddha cannot carry on his journey until he actualized enlightenment, even conventional level. He still have certain strength to go all the way to from the 6-year retreat to the where the Bodhi tree is. He still have a capability to go. Then in unconventional level, in the Mahayanic point of view, he have already enlightened 3 countless years before. He just came to show the 12 deeds of a journey to teach, we living beings, and this is one of the deeds that Buddha have shown in the concern of thinking that if I show the example of that, completely weakening my entire body, showing the example that there's no need care at all about the preservation of this human vehicle, the body, until you have actualized enlightenment. And then that may set an example, that may set an example in future. My followers, may go through that kind of esoteric way, which Buddha, in fact, already disagree with his esoteric teacher before. There's a lot of focus on the physical kind of sacrifices. He went through all the earlier tradition of like walking on fire, burning your feet, praising your body. He already went, witnessed all that. He went through the teacher of all that, and he disagreed. He says the focus is about the mind. It's not about the body. Okay. But in order for mind to make it most effective in the journey of path, you need the physical vehicle of this human body. Again, I don't know whether it's this whether in this channel or other channel of the teaching, they talk about the the 6 elements of the 6 elements of human body, the 6 elements. I don't know which class I've discussed, maybe not this class.
Not here. Yeah.
6 elements on top of the 4 elements, like earth, water, fire, air, then drop and channels. The drop, the father, mother substance, and the channels. This, the vehicle or the body or the aggregate that actualize with the 6 substances are the most favorable basis to actualize enlightenment. Even comparing with the God, demigods, formless and form, whatever, even though how filthy, how contaminated our body may be, but it is unbelievable capability because of this 6 substance. You see, so therefore the body need to be protected. So therefore, in the concern of his followers, that when it comes to the position of ruining your physical body after much hardship through your practice, you need to revive it. And the way to revive your body as a trainee, you need to revive by food, isn't it? Consumption of food and drink, isn't it? If you already achieve, if you're already arhat or enlightened, then you don't need gross food. You can eat samadhi food. Then you don't need, isn't it? So that's why on the conventional scenario of the Buddha, like such as for the Vaibhasika lower school, Hinayana school, Buddha is not actualized arhatship yet. Buddha was still training during the 6-year retreat. He have not achieved arhatship. He have achieved liberation only under the Buddha tree. When we, from the Mahayana point of view, we say he have enlightened, isn't it? From the lower vehicle, say that he have achieved arhatship. So until then, it's still like physical ordinary body like ours. So you see, so the interpretation, not because of he is so weak that he break the fast. No, that's not the meaning. He break the fast because he don't want his followers to follow exactly the example, because these are the teaching to be followed by we disciple.
Okay,
so
maybe
you get the point.
Thank you. I'll summarize. 这个有点长，我有点长，我跟大家稍微讲一下。那格西讲到说，这个我们在前几堂课有讲到说，这个佛陀释迦牟尼佛在这个苦修6年之后，在这个也是在这个断食6年之后呢，他接受了这个牧羊女的这个牛奶，然后呢才这个，然后的 安住在菩提树下，然后成佛。那他当初去接受这个牛奶，并不是因为他自己没有办法继续这个苦行下去，直到证得阿罗汉，他是有这样能力的。但他因为释迦牟尼佛在这个若干劫之前呢，都已经成就了无上正等正觉。他投生在娑婆世界经历这个12世纪等等的出转法轮，都是为了实现他的这个涅槃，实现这个成佛。所以他是绝对有能力继续的不吃饭，继续苦行下去。但是为了他以后的我们这些后人。跟随着他的这个脚步的后人做出这个榜样呢，他才去接受这个牧羊女的这个牛奶，然后呢坐在这个菩提树下，直到成佛。那这个典故呢讲的意思呢，也是这个意思。那么我们的这个色身呢，特别是这个在这个南瞻部洲所获得这个暇满人生这个人生呢，其实是非常珍贵，是成佛的这个成佛的这个根基。我们现在这个人生呢，甚至比这个天人的身体。这个山真上升天人的天身这个天人的身体更加珍贵，因为这个天人呢是没有办法以天人的身体他是没有办法来修行佛法去成佛的，唯有借有这个人生这个暇满的人生，我们可以成佛。那么在这个另外格西的一个课程里面有提到说，我们这个身体呢为什么这么珍贵呢？它是有6种元素，叫做6元素。那这个6元素呢包括什么？包括这个4大元素，也就是风火土空，再加上所谓的气脉明点，合为6个元素。这个6个元素呢，是唯有在这个娑婆世界中所有的身体中，唯有这个人生暇满的人生是可以用来成佛、修行成佛。成就无上正等正觉，所以极为珍贵。那么这个身体呢，是成佛的基础。那么禅修修行精进呢，是要建立在这个健康的身体的这个受用这个之上。因此呢，这个照顾这个身体呢，色身也是非常有这个需要和这个重要的所以释迦牟尼佛的12世纪呢，他的示现呢，只是示现给我们世人，其实他在若干劫以前已经成就。那他这个接受牧羊女的这个牛奶。来这个打开，也就是示现给说我们这个色身呢，是一个成佛的基础，是很重要的刚才讲的很多，大概重复讲这个意思了，就是这意思就是说这个要照顾好这个6元素，身体的6元素才能成佛。那么那怎么样去照顾呢？当然食物是一个很重要的一个途径，所以这个饮食是很重要这方面。
Oh yeah, okay.
很长
Okay, I think we will stop here, okay?
Okay.
Yes. So thank you. So yeah, we don't need to do the long dedication. Everybody is familiar with the dedication. So dedicate accordingly your heart. In short, dedicate the virtues as like how Bodhisattvas would dedicate. We too dedicate in that way.
我们这边做个简短的回向。
예와데 뉴도 달라마 산제 두변에 도와지 야말레바데 살라 고버셔 찬주 sem조림 버제 마제 빠름 제주지 개와니 밤에 바양 고네 공도 배워셔 동니 다와림 버제 마제 빠름 제주지 개와니 밤에 바양 고네 공도 배워저림 니 다와림 버제 마제 빠름 제주지 개와니 밤에 바양 고네 공도 배워라이쇼 야와 공도 양달라마다 다면 춘지 별라론 조지 사달람 연대라 도제 장지 공방요 도저 주전람에 고제랍데 남과 틀려 주주 gem바다 로산 템베 도메 사수 도웨 무제다도 진주제 도저 장지 장고 자베데 진요 베베 콘조 도보지 초존 고베레메 투도바 다소 도제 권도 샵데 조 바마심제 탐제데나 denju 징년도 탐제다도 동화다 찬주 sem바가나 수조 대다 군제 몰람 도저제 심제네바 진예바 뉴도네레 타주제 도베네 말바 다도 중화 메버죠 베단 조와 미급이 신누고 바sam시 Zenjera Gonzaga Zamba Chichen to Vetashi Jumde Dinja Rajama and the Namanazo, Japala Chaz of Jones Musamacha. Diadon visit the Albert the Nazum to the Zamji, so Diadon visit the Albert the Nazum to the Zamji, so Diadon visit the Albert the Nazum to the Zamji, so Diadon visit the Albert the Nazum to the Zamji. 大家懂别这条不的那种，咱们就说大家懂别这条不的那种，咱们就说就那地方大就没有的吧，生意没了，别的叫不了，就那地方大就没有的吧，做不成，我的妈了，他就了，叫不了，家长路没就直接叫回去了，他等着路没别的嘛，大家他上那边，他们没别那个，都叫了，这你们的来，这的来，你们不样的来，你这大都工作顺节扎西说。Okay, thank you very much. Please take good care. 谢谢。
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
again.
Thank you, Sila. Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
谢谢哥斯拉，Thank you。
Bye bye.